questions. There are two main question types: yes-no questions, specific questions. Yes-no questions. Asking them. Here are the 4 ways to ask a yes-no question. Just use a declarative sentence with a rising tone or question mark. Example 1, Kamu bisa melihat Komodo itu? Can you see that Komodo dragon? Tack one of the question markers, apakah, onto the front of the sentence. Example 2, apakah kamu bisa melihat Komodo itu? Can you see that Komodo dragon? As described in the subsection below about specific questions, apakah, means what in the context of specific questions. However, in the context of yes-no questions, they're merely used to flag that the sentence is a yes-no question. You can add a yes-no question tag such as bukan kan ya, atau bukan, atau tidak, or enggak. You can rearrange the corresponding declarative sentence to start with either a modal verb, optionally tagged with the particle ka. Example 3a, bisakah kamu melihat Komodo itu? Can you see that Komodo dragon? Or another sentence element tagged with ka. Sudahkah kamu melihat Komodo itu? The particle ka is analogous to the particle la described in the subsection above about topic comment sentences. Similarly, as described in the subsection below about specific questions, ka can be added to question words at the beginning of specific questions for emphasis. Yes-no question tags. Yes-no question tags are added to declarative questions to turn them into yes-no questions. Here are the 3 types. Bukan can go at the end of the question. Example 1a, kamu melihat Komodo itu bukan? You saw the Komodo dragon, didn't you? Or it can combine with ka to make bukan ka and go at the beginning of the question. Example 1b, bukankah kamu melihat Komodo itu? Didn't you see that Komodo dragon? It can be used to get confirmation. Example 1a, kamu melihat Komodo itu bukan? You saw the Komodo dragon, didn't you? Or seek agreement. Example 1c, Komodo itu agak cepat, bukan? That Komodo is rather fast, don't you think? Kan is the informal form of bukan. In addition to going at the end of the question like bukan, kan can also go before the predicate. Example 1d. So at the end of the sentence, kamu melihat Komodo itu kan? Or kamu kan melihat Komodo itu? You saw the Komodo dragon, didn't you? Bukankah, bukan, kan are used even if the grammatically appropriate negation would otherwise be tidak. For example, in 1a, the verb is melihat. So when you say you didn't see, you'd say tidak melihat. But when you ask the yes-no question, you use bukan as the tag, not tidak. Ya is an informal synonym of bukan kan. It can only go at the end of the question. Kamu melihat Komodo itu ya? Atau bukan or atau tidak can only go at the end of a yes-no question. Atau bukan is used when converting an equative sentence to a yes-no question. Example 3a, kamu penduduk Pulau Komodo atau bukan? Are you a resident of Komodo Island or not? Whereas atau tidak is used when converting other types of declarative sentences. Example 3b, kamu melihat Komodo itu atau tidak? Did you see the Komodo dragon or not? Enggak is the informal form of atau tidak. In addition to going at the end of the question like atau tidak, enggak can also go immediately after the verb, even if the verb has an object. Example 3c, you can say, kamu melihat enggak Komodo itu? Did you see or not that Komodo? This resembles English patterns such as go, no, go, and Chinese patterns such as shi, but nevertheless is highly unusual as one of the 3 examples where an active transitive verb can be pried apart from its object. As described in the presentation about grammatical registers, the command particles dong ya are the other 2. Here's a summary of where the various yes-no question tags go. For example, anga could be at the end or between the verb and its object. Answering yes-no questions. Yes-no questions are answered in the affirmative with ya, iya, yes, or betul, correct, optionally followed by a full sentence. Example 1a, kamu sudah melihat komodo itu? Did you see that Komodo dragon? You can say ya, yes, or ya, saya melihatnya. Yes, I saw it. You can also answer with an appropriate word from the question. Example 1b, kamu sudah melihat komodo itu? Ya, sudah. However, if the question uses a modal verb, then the question is often answered with ya, iya, and the mobile verb. Example 1c, kamu bisa melihat komodo itu? Can you see that Komodo dragon? Ya, bisa. Yes, I can. For emphasis, you can add saja after either the modal verb or the duplicated modal verb. Example 1d, kamu bisa melihat komodo itu? Can you see that Komodo dragon? Ya, bisa saja. Yeah. Or ya, bisa saja. Yeah. Similarly, unlike English, Indonesian sensibly answers negative yes-no questions in the affirmative with yes instead of an illogical no. Example 1e, kamu tidak suka komodo? You don't like Komodo dragons? Ya, saya tidak suka komodo. No, I don't like Komodo dragons. Yes-no questions are answered in the negative by simply using the grammatically opposite negation, even if the question includes a bukan question tag. Example 2, kama suka komodo? Bukan, tidak, no. Specific questions. Specific questions are questions that use question words, such as who, siapa, where, di mana, when, kapan, why, mengapa, or informal kenapa, how, bagaimana. Theoretically, declarative sentences can be converted to specific questions by simply swapping in the appropriate question word. Example 1, Komodo itu makan apa? What did the Komodo eat? However, this is disfavored. In practice, the question word is almost always moved to the beginning of the question in order to make clear that what follows is a question and not a statement. 4 types of question words go at the beginning of questions. Example 2, kapan, di mana, mengapa, bagaimana, komodo itu makan wisatawan itu? When, where, why, how did the Komodo dragon eat the tourist? When, kapan, and others. Where, di mana, dari mana, from where, ke mana, to where. Why, mengapa, how, bagaimana, caranya. Siapa, who, apa, what similarly go at the beginning of questions, but unlike the 4 above, they require further reorganization of the sentence. When these question words are predicate nouns, the sentence is simply inverted. Example 3a, wisatawan itu siapa? Is okay, but is usually reorganized as siapa wisatawan itu? When they're objects, the sentence is often inverted by rewriting it in die passive and then turned into an equative sentence by nominalizing the Thai verb predicate with yang. Example 3b. So komodo itu makan siapa? Reorganize it by putting siapa at the front. Siapa dimakan oleh komodo itu? Who was eaten by the Komodo dragon? And then turn it in finally to make the equative sentence, siapa yang dimakan oleh komodo itu? Who's the one who was eaten by the Komodo dragon? When they're subjects, there's no need for inversion, but the predicate is nominalized with yang. Example 3c. Siapa makan wisatawan itu is converted to siapa yang makan wisatawan itu? Who's the one who ate the tourist? Yang mana means which one, and the pattern noun yang mana expresses which noun. Analogously to siapa and apa, These terms usually go at the beginning of questions. Example 4. So, Komodo itu makan wisatawan yang mana? The Komodo ate which tourist? Is reworked to wisatawan yang mana, diverb dimakan oleh Komodo itu, which tourist was eaten by the Komodo dragon, which is further reorganized as wisatawan yang mana yang dimakan oleh Komodo itu. So that's a perfectly okay equative sentence, but usually the redundant yang is dropped out to make the final sentence wisatawan mana yang dimakan oleh Komodo itu. Which tourist is the one who was eaten by the Komodo dragon? When the pattern noun plus yang mana precedes a nominalized predicate, the yang of yang mana can be optionally omitted in order to make the sentence sound better. So example 4 is Komodo itu makan wisatawan yang mana is not a good sentence. The Komodo ate which tourist? So that's reorganized by putting the object first and using a die verb. Wisatawan yang mana dimakan oleh Komodo itu, which tourist was eaten by the Komodo, is further reworked, and now we're getting to an okay sentence. Wisatawan yang mana yang dimakan oleh Komodo itu, which tourist is the one that was eaten by the Komodo itu. But the two yangs sound funny, so you knock out the yang mana yang to get a good sentence. Wisatawan mana yang dimakan oleh Komodo itu, which tourist is the one who was eaten by the Komodo dragon. Here are 2 additional wrinkles for specific questions. As described in the subsection above about yes-no questions, Ka makes yes-no questions by tagging modal verbs or other sentence elements and moving them to the beginning of the yes-no question. Similarly, Ka can be added to question words at the beginning of specific questions for emphasis. Example 5, Siapakah yang dimakan oleh Komodo itu? Who's the one who was eaten by the Komodo dragon? Saja can be added to a question word to express an expectation that the question has more than one answer. 6a, Siapa saja yang dibunuh oleh Komodo itu? Who all was killed by that Komodo dragon? As described in the presentation about useful, when used in declarative sentences, saja has the opposite meaning of just this, nothing else. Example 6b, induk Komodo itu hanya ingin melindungi anak-anaknya saja. The mother Komodo dragon just wanted to protect its babies. Indirect reporting. Indirect reporting is when speech is reported in narrative form instead of quotes. Here are the 4 context-specific approaches that are used for indirect reporting. In statements, use bawa after the speech verb. Example 1, saya berkata, Anda tidak lebih cepat daripada Komodo. I said, you are not faster than a Komodo dragon. It can be rewritten as saya berkata bahwa dia tidak lebih cepat daripada Komodo. I said that they were not faster than a Komodo dragon. Yes, no questions. Apakah is inserted after the speech verb, or atau tidak atau bukan is added at the end. In example 2, the quote form, saya bertanya, apakah Anda lebih cepat daripada Komodo? I asked, are you faster than a Komodo dragon? Can be rewritten as saya bertanya apakah dia lebih cepat daripada Komodo, or saya bertanya dia lebih cepat daripada Komodo atau tidak. I asked whether they were faster than a Komodo dragon or not. In this context, apakah expresses whether and plays an important clarifying role. For example, if you don't include apakah in saya tidak tahu apakah wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo, the meaning becomes, I didn't know that the tourist perished in an attack by Komodo dragons, instead of, I don't know whether the tourist perished. Specific questions. The question word is inserted after the speech verb. 3a, saya bertanya, kapan wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo? I asked, when did the tourist perish in a Komodo attack? Can be reworked as saya bertanya kapan wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo. I asked when the tourist perished in an attack by the Komodo dragons. Example 3b, saya bertanya di mana wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo. I asked, where did the tourist perish in a Komodo attack? Saya bertanya, di mana wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo. I asked where the tourist perished in an attack by Komodo dragons. There are two quirks. Kapan can be optionally replaced by waktu. So you can say, saya bertanya waktu wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo. I asked when the tourist perished in an attack by Komodo dragons. And di mana can be optionally replaced with tempat. Example 3b, saya bertanya tempat wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo. I asked where the tourist perished in an attack by Komodo dragons. Commands. Supaya or agar are inserted after the object of the command, and then the verb is reverted to its regular affix form. Example 4, the quoted form is saya memohon, bantu saya lolos dari Komodo. I begged, help me escape the Komodo dragons, is rewritten as saya memohon dia supaya membantu saya lolos dari Komodo. I begged him to help me escape the Komodo dragons. In addition to inserting words such as bawa apakah after the speech verb, other sentence elements may have to be conformed as the context requires. For example, the subject of the speech clause Anda becomes dia. Saya bertanya, apakah Anda? I asked, are you? Becomes saya bertanya, apakah dia? I asked whether he was. Finally, indirect questions are objects or complements and therefore follow active verbs. However, indirect questions are also perfectly okay in passive context, subject to the wrinkles for siapa apa yang mana that are described in the subsection above. Example 5, saya tidak tahu siapa yang tewas oleh serangan Komodo. I do not know who is the one who perished in a Komodo attack. It can be rewritten in passive as belum diketahui siapa yang tewas oleh serangan Komodo. It's not yet known who is the one who perished in a Komodo attack. Take-home lessons. There are three mostly non-overlapping negations. Tidak, bukan, jangan. Tidak is used for everything except nouns and commands. Bukan is used for nouns and can optionally replace tidak in front of prepositions such as karena, untuk, and seperti. Example 1, anjing ini bukan untuk komodomu. This dog is not for your Komodo dragon. And jangan is used for commands. Noun phrases are organized as quantity, head noun, modifying noun, adjective, possessor, yang relative clause, ini itu. Adjectives can swap places with possessors by modification with yang. There are three mostly non-overlapping ways to say to be. The copula adalah is used for equivalency. Example 3a, Komodo adalah kadal yang ganas. Komodo dragons are ferocious lizards. The verb merupakan is used for similarity. Example 3b, Komodo merupakan kadal terbesar yang ada di dunia. The Komodo dragon is the largest lizard in the world. The verb menjadi is used for a changed form or a status. Example 3c, saya menjadi penjaga hutan di Pulau Komodo. I am a forest ranger on Komodo Island. Location can be expressed with the copula ada or the formal verbs berada or tempat. Declarative sentences with active transitive verbs are organized as sentence adverb, time adverb, subject, negation, adverb, modal verb, verb, direct object, general adverb, preposition. Sayangnya besok Jim Fowler tidak akan bisa menjaga Komodo mu dengan gampang karena dia akan sibuk. Unfortunately, tomorrow Fowler will not be able to take care of your Komodo dragon easily because he will be busy. The time adverb can alternatively go at the end. However, unlike English, time adverbs are the only adverbs that can go at the end of sentences. Non-specific time markers are often used to express tenses. Pernah, sampat, sudah, lantur are used for past contexts. In 5a, seekor makhluk aneh pernah terlihat di hutan. A strange creature was once seen in the jungle. 5b, saya sudah melihat seekor komodo. I already saw a Komodo dragon. Sedang is used for progressive ing-like contexts. 5c, Komodo itu sedang mencabiki leher korbannya. The Komodo dragon is tearing at its victim's neck. Akan, will, is used for future contexts. 5d, Komodo itu tidak akan bisa kubunuh. The Komodo dragon is the one that I will not be able to kill. Yes, no questions often use the question markers apa, apakah at the beginning, or a question tag such as bukan kan at the end. Example 6, apakah kamu bisa melihat Komodo itu? Or kamu bisa melihat Komodo itu bukan? Can you see that Komodo dragon? Specific questions are analogous to declarative sentences with the appropriate question words swapped in. However, the sentences are usually rearranged to move the question word to the beginning. 7a, kapan Komodo itu makan wisatawan itu? When did the Komodo dragon eat the tourist? When the question word is an interrogative pronoun, such as siapa, apa, yang mana, the questions are often further reworked as equative sentences by nominalizing the predicate with yang. 7b, so Komodo itu makan siapa makes sense, but usually siapa is moved to the front, so siapa dimakan oleh Komodo itu, the passive. And that's further turned into an equative sentence as siapa yang dimakan oleh Komodo itu? Who's the one who was eaten by the Komodo dragons? Indirect reporting uses apa-apakah for embedded yes-no questions. Example 8a, saya bertanya, apakah Anda lebih cepat daripada Komodo? I asked, are you faster than a Komodo dragon? Can be rewritten as saya bertanya, apakah dia lebih cepat daripada Komodo? I asked whether they were faster than a Komodo dragon. Question words for embedded specific questions. 8b, saya bertanya, kapan wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo? I asked, when did the tourist perish in a Komodo attack? Can be converted to an indirect reporting sentence. Saya bertanya, kapan wisatawan itu tewas oleh serangan Komodo? I asked when the tourist perished in an attack by Komodo dragons. And supaya agar for embedded commands. 8c, saya memohon, bantu saya lolos dari Komodo. I begged, help me escape the Komodo dragons. Can be turned into saya memohon dia supaya membantu saya lolos dari Komodo. I begged him to help me escape the Komodo dragons. Here's our joke.
She's my sister and my daughter.
Grammar. This series of video presentations includes original pornographic material that illustrates key concepts in Indonesian grammar. The following scene includes dialogue that is composed of model sentences based on this presentation.
Genjer-genjer nang kedoan batin ke